decided to put some tea in Boston Harbor in protest against taxation without representation. In the end analysis, that's exactly why we are here today. You may tell me, oh, we have representation. But when our national legislators signed the stimulus spending bill without reading it, we were being taxed without representation. When they went on to approve the omnibus spending bill and create massive deficit spending, we were taxed without representation. One that might hit home, and I hope that it does. When the state of Florida elected to accept stimulus funds for the state, before they knew what the strings attached to those stimulus funds would be, we were taxed without representation. To the issue at hand, I would now like to read the We the People petition that's available for your signature. We the people, the undersigned citizens of the great state of Florida, supporters of the Constitution of the United States of America, and participants in the North Lake Tea Party of Central Florida, respectfully call upon U.S. President Barack Obama, U.S. Senator Mel Martinez, U.S. Senator Bill Nelson, U.S. Congressman Alan Grayson, Florida State Governor Charlie Crist, Florida State Senator Kerry Baker, Florida State Representative Alan Hayes, Florida State Representative H. Marlene O'Toole. We call upon this group of people to repeal the United States stimulus spending bill that was approved by our legislators without so much as reading the bill prior to signing it into effect. We further ask that you cease and desist from all deficit spending to keep from placing future generations of Americans under undue tax burden. We further ask our state government to return federal stimulus funds that you agreed to accept before determining all conditions associated with receiving these funds. The action to this petition is by copy of this signed document. Each of the above named representatives will be made aware of our desires. You'll find copies of this petition at the entrance to the park. There are several stations. We tried to make it as easy as possible for everybody to sign to avoid long lines, and I believe we've done that, and by the way, we've put the petition together. So we so appreciate your being here, and thank you very much, and we'll just look forward to your signing the petition. Thank you.
Thank you. We didn't want to exclude those who were out here on their lunch hour, so we have a smaller table next to the tent for those who are here with only a short time to spare. You should be able to sign it without having a long line to stand in. Now I'd like for some of our youth and children to share some wisdom from our founding fathers. John Adams said, "Children should be educated and instructed in the principles of freedom." I'd like to introduce to you 6 reasons why I wanted to host a tea party. 8-year-old Emily,
that governs least.
16-year-old Matthew.
Thomas Jefferson once said, and I quote, "If the American people ever allowed private banks to control the issue of currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around them will deprive the people of all property until the children wake up homeless on the continent their fathers conquered."
Although these words are often attributed to Abraham Lincoln, they were actually penned by William J.H. Becker, a Presbyterian minister. You cannot bring about prosperity by discouraging thrift. You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot help the poor man by destroying the rich. You cannot further the brotherhood of man by inciting class hatred. You cannot build character and courage by taking away man's initiative and independence. You cannot help small men by tearing down big men. You cannot lift a wage earner by pulling down the wage payer. You cannot keep out of trouble by spending more than your income. You cannot establish security on borrowed money, and you cannot help men permanently by doing for them what they will not do for themselves. Crouch, a senior from Mount Dora High School, who can give us some perspective from a future taxpayer.
I'd like to thank Mr. McGutton and Mr. Sullivan for putting this all together. My fellow Americans, there comes a point in the history of every nation when there is a need for the citizens to stand up to their government. A need for the citizens to stand up and say, "You've gone too far." Well, I come to you this day where hundreds of thousands, if not millions of citizens all across the nation are standing up for what they believe in, standing up for what America believes in. They're making their voices heard. We too are making our voices heard. We're letting our government know that they have gone too far. We're letting our government know that taxation without deliberation will not be approved by us citizens. Not only was this stimulus bill passed without being read through and through, but it was passed in spite of the masses of disapproval to it. Today we stand with one solid voice and say no to outrageous spending. We say no to incompetent government, and we say no to taxation without deliberation. If the government were a business, it would have been out of business a long time ago. We need to remind them who they work for. They work for us. We elect them. The people are the bosses, not the government.